welcome to your Caribbean News and Culture. I'm Delinda Eiffel. Dominica is starting to take powerful steps to address shortfalls of electricity in the country. One of the top engineers, Carl Duncan, is concerned that if the matter isn't attended to by 2017, there will be only 4 megawatts of reliable units remaining in Dominica. While the government has started a geothermal energy development project, many engineers fear that the geothermal energy in the country wouldn't be efficiently resourceful by then. The Energy Management Services, which is a local energy company in Dominica, is now collaborating with the government to improve energy efficiency and reduce the high cost of electricity in the country. There's hope in the air for frequent travelers to Trinidad and Tobago. As of May 2014, JetBlue Airlines will provide daily nonstop flights from Fort Lauderdale, Florida to Trinidad and Tobago. And the airline also plans to offer flights twice a day from New York's JFK International Airport to Trinidad and Tobago. Scott Lawrence, the Vice President of Network Planning for JetBlue, explained that the upcoming accommodating changes from JetBlue will reflect the airline's mission to grow and expand its network in South Florida, the Caribbean, and in Latin America. Earlier this week, an earthquake with a magnitude of 3.6 shook the country of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The Seismic Research Center in St. Augustine campus of the University of the West Indies reported that the earthquake had a depth of 30 kilometers and was even felt in parts of St. Lucia. Fortunately, there were no casualties or significant damage reported. The earthquake that rattled Haiti in 2010 was a 7.0 magnitude. Barbados' dependence on imported goods is taking precedence over locally grown products and is causing a growing concern in the country. Many acres of agricultural land once used for livestock, sugarcane, and other crops are now forest. Barbados' soil has decreased in fertility, and there is now 30% more bush and trees covering the land than in over 60 years. The United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization met with the Caribbean Natural Resources Institute and noted that Barbados is one of the few islands where forestation in the region has increased. The country's agricultural consultant, Keith Laurie, expressed great frustration that Barbados pays $700 million annually for imported food, while the country's land that could be used to produce local products is being neglected. Piece by piece, the country of Haiti is trying to restore different aspects of the country, and this time they're focusing on restoring the country's army. The first recruits of Haiti's new potential army recently returned to Haiti after spending 8 months training in Ecuador. Ecuador is a part of a larger effort to help rebuild Haiti and has given over $30 million towards helping the country rebuild after the 2010 catastrophic earthquake. All 41 new Army recruits will work alongside Ecuadorian military engineers in central Haiti to repair Haiti's Route 1, which is a highway that connects northern Haiti to the capital, and they will also work on other public service projects. Haiti's government had abolished the military back when Aristide was president due to military coups and human rights abuse. These new recruits, who will make up the new first country's military, will not be allowed to carry weapons or handguns for 3 to 4 years. Taking strides to keep students in Jamaica focused and hopeful. Earlier this week, Jamaican sprint queen Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price awarded 7 students in Jamaica with scholarship grants from her Pocket Rocket Foundation. The foundation aims to enhance the balance between sports and academics. During the award ceremony held at Devon House in Kingston, Jamaica, the students were awarded with an estimated $700,000, which will go directly to the schools to help with their tuition, lunch money, and other school-related costs. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price is a track and field sprinter born in Kingston, Jamaica. In 2008, during the Olympic Games, at just 21 years old, she became the first Caribbean woman to win the 100-meter gold, and in 2012, she victoriously defended her title. Our Culture Chat is coming up next. Stay with us. We have lots more ahead. We'll be right back.
You're on your way to meet up with friends, but you can't seem to get anywhere quickly. You don't want your friends to be annoyed, so you text. you're on your way. 5 seconds is the average time your eyes are off the road while texting while driving. Make sure you get where you're going.
Kids will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes twice a day. They have the time.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Welcome back to your Caribbean News and Culture. I'm Delinda Eiffel. It's time for our Culture Chat. A phenomenon that dates back to the mid-1900s, the steel pan originated in Trinidad and Tobago as a musical emancipation for an oppressed people. Since the 1800s, the people of Trinidad and Tobago participated in carnival, and when slavery was abolished across the West Indies in 1834, the freed slaves of Trinidad and Tobago joined the carnival festivities to utilize bamboo joints cut from the bamboo plant to create percussion bands called tambour bamboo bands. In the 1930s, the British government banned the use of the bamboo instruments, so the people of Trinidad and Tobago took to steel drums, which were often discarded by the oil refineries on the island. And upon that first beat, the electrifying sound created led to the birth of the steel pan. The steel pan was the only acoustic musical invention of the 20th century. Present day, there are steel orchestras made up of 6 categories of drums: the tenors, the double second, the guitars, the cellos, the quadro and 6-pan, the bass, and the rhythm section, which is a freestanding section of the bass. Joining us here in the studio from Boston's own Tempo International Rhythm Section is Yorick Johnson. Welcome.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me on, darling.
Thanks for being here. Now, steel pan is something that you came out of the womb playing.
Well, yeah, I think it's as you said, it's the liberation of oppressed people, and I think it's as you know, the only acoustical instrument invented in the 20th century.
Right.
So I was brought up hearing steel pan, and in the neighborhood, and actually, tin pans actually.
Right.
Some before they got the steel, the oil drums. You had the little pans, even coffee pans that people used to join together and play together.
Right.
So it's a relaxing song that I'm used to. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So now you manage the group Tempo International Rhythm Section.
Right.
Before it was the Johnson Brothers.
Right.
So the group consists of all your family members. Talk to us about that transition.
Well, so Tempo for short, and started off with my brothers, and because I have 8 brothers and 3 sisters and cousins and nephews and nieces, and we, as you said, in terms of music, from birth. We were very musical, and we used to get together and at activities, birthday parties,
Right.
Christmas, soccer game, football game,
Right.
and in between halftime, we all grab an instrument and make some songs
playing.
and start playing and start jamming, as
Right.
they say. And so when we decided to form a rhythm section, it was a natural evolution to formally start a band, a rhythm section, which, as you know, is one section of a steel band orchestra.
Exactly, right.
And that kind of focused on percussion instruments. And so we started off as Johnson Brothers. And prior to Johnson Brothers, I was in charge of another rhythm group called Soca Boys and Soca Girls, and left them, and we started with the Johnson Brothers. And then about 3-4 years ago, my eldest brother, Sylvester, says, we need to kind of change the name to really bring out what we're about.
Right.
And so we came up with the word tempo, which is a term that is used in music. You got to keep the tempo going. Another word for rhythm.
Right.
And so we use tempo to say that's what we emphasize, rhythm and tempo. And we use the word international because besides playing soca and calypso, we play a variety of different rhythms, like
Right.
Spanish, African, Haitian. Everyone has
right.
their own genre.
That's true.
So we lend to that, and then the section kind of speaks to the fact that it's a section of a whole steel band orchestra
Exactly.
that we just take out and have it
And
stand
stand
alone.
alone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we touched a little bit on the international part.
Right.
And the top of this segment, we heard a little bit about the history of the steel pan.
Right.
And present day, the influence exists in places as far as Japan.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
Japan.
Japan, Australia,
Right.
Africa,
What is
New
it
Zealand.
about this music and this type of rhythm that makes it so universally appealing?
I think one thing that music is universal. I think what also it makes steel pan music so attractive is that when people see someone knocking on a pan and all those different notes comes
Right.
from a steel drum, people are fascinated by
Fascinated,
it.
yep.
And you mentioned the bass, the guitar, the cello. And so people are fascinated by the unique, distinct song that is different than any other song.
Right.
And so I think that's one fascinating about it, is that how could such song comes out from such instrument? And the other thing is when it's played together, it's like a symphony. And so I think that is the attractive piece of it. I think the other thing too, we all originated from Africa.
Right.
And I think this music came out of a people that were connected to music
Right.
and to rhythm. And I think I could see my interpretation, it kind of creates a reconnection to that relationship.
Now we have some of the instruments here.
Right,
and
right.
We're going to demonstrate
Right,
to the people
right. Some of the- I
what
think-
brings all this sound.
Yes, I
So
think
let's start. Let's
with
go
this.
from big to small.
Right. This instrument here is, you see, is a small steel drum.
Right.
But you have a bigger size that's 34 inches and a half.
Okay.
And this particular one is called a duduk.
Okay.
And a duduk has two notes, a high note and a low
low
note.
note,
So
okay.
this is what rhythm sections usually use to play.
Okay.
A bass will have more notes in that.
And then what about this
This
one?
is the pan. This is the tenor pan.
Okay.
And as you see,
And you
it
would
ha-
play it with this one
you'll-
as
you'll
well?
play- you'll play it with this stick.
Oh,
And you-
okay.
And it have E, D,
Okay.
G, F. So it has all the notes of a piano.
Okay.
Okay. And this
And this
is
one pan has all the notes
all
of
the
piano.
notes of a piano.
That's pretty cool.
Okay. And so you have the guitar pan and the tenor pan will have, and the cellos will have the same note, but they'll be tuned at a different pitch.
Okay.
To kind of help blend
Now,
it.
before we go to break, I just want to quickly touch on two more. We have a lot here,
Right.
but the two that I find really fascinating is a scratcher,
The scratcher.
which to me looks like a grater when
It's
you
a
would grate
grater,
your cheese
right?
on.
Actually, it's the thing. Iron you bend and you punk
Yeah.
some nails on it, and you use this,
and you just
You scratch
and then
that.
the cowbell,
The
which is
cowbell,
actually
a bell of a cow. And the
Yeah.
other thing that people are fascinated by is this. This is the actual brick hub of a car.
Oh, wow.
And
So how do you bring sound from
for
that?
this, you use what you call a striker, and you just hold it like this, and you can beat it like that. Yeah.
So Larry, we're gonna head to break, and we'll be right back.
Yeah.
This yellow one is for my postpartum depression. This one, sciatica, whatever that is. I got these after my hysterectomy, or my prostatectomy, stomectomy. And this guy is for the pain from my last hip replacement. And this orange one is, gotta go.
For teens, getting drugs can be as easy as opening your medicine cabinet.
Welcome back to your Caribbean News and Culture, everyone. The video you just saw was of the Tempo International Rhythm section, which is a rhythm section here in Boston. And we've been chatting with Yorick Johnson, who is a part of Tempo. So we got a demonstration of these lovely instruments.
And you did very well with that
Thank
structure.
you. I might have to join.
Well, we are taking
I might have to
recruits.
join the junior section.
The
though.
junior section. Yes. In fact,
I might be on their level.
No,
but
it's
speaking of which, you guys have an event coming up this Sunday, September 22nd at Hibernia Hall. Called Rhythm and Steel.
Right.
Talk to us about that event.
Yeah, it's called Rhythm and Steel, a celebration of culture, and it's from 6 to 12. It's a combination of a dinner and show, and we're going to have costumes available. We're going to have rhythm sections present and steel drums, bands there as well.
Nice.
We want to really highlight the rhythm and the steel. In fact, steel drums. I think it's sad that steel drum is not as appreciated as much as we believe it should be. And I have my own theory about that in terms of it's originated from Africa, and it's really a song that we need to pay more attention to. In fact, I always say if I become Prime Minister of Trinidad, it's an automatic going on the national flag.
You change the flag and put it
on there. Because everyone, as you heard earlier, from New Zealand to Australia to Japan to Canada, appreciate it. So why not, highlight it?
Exactly. And that's where it originated.
Exactly. So this event is also to recognize a couple of people who have been very instrumental in promoting steel pan and rhythm here in Boston. Mr. Carl Smith with Branches Steel Orchestra. He works with a lot of young people, as young as 3 years old. And the other one is Glenn Gabriel from Metro Steel Pan Orchestra. And they both have always been available and accessible to the community. Branches is playing at the governor's memorial stuff, and even for Obama.
Oh, wow.
And you should see these young children play, and I think so. We want to recognize them. We also want to recognize Ms. Shirley Shillingford, who has been the chairman and the president of the Boston Carnival Committee.
She plays a very intricate part
in making that carnival happen. And there is some other individuals that we also want to honor that day. So what we're planning on doing is having the pans available.
Now, what groups are performing?
We're going to have Tempo Rhythm. We're going to have five-star, five-star rhythm section, which is a new rhythm section that started 3 years ago for some young men and women. And I'm very proud of them. In fact, they came first in the Juve competition here in Boston, and they placed in New York. And so they'll be presenting. We also have representatives from Branches and Metro. We also have another representative from Pan United. Some performers from Berkeley School of Music.
Nice.
And just tonight, I kind of confirmed a pianist who not only plays pan, but he makes pan. So he's going to come and bring his instruments to show how the pans are made.
Right.
And so it's a cultural event in terms of show and tell, and an opportunity to hear the instruments, to see. We're also going to have Mike Smith from Carnival Village, Boston Carnival Village, showcasing some nice photographs of the different costumes that were weared from the Boston Carnival in years from past. So.
Now the tickets are $20.
$20.
Talk to us about where the proceeds are going.
The proceeds are going to help, you mentioned Tempo Junior. Tempo Junior started this year. It's made up of 8 members, and the co-captain is 3 years old and 11 years old. And we're looking to expand Tempo Rhythm in terms of buying new instruments, uniforms, and refreshments for them. It's also going to help. Some of the proceeds is also going to go to Teens Against Gang Violence, a youth leadership program that I started over 20 years ago that kind of addressed youth violence and gang violence, and not only in the city of Boston, but nationally and internationally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, we saw that steel pan, translated to different cultures and whatnot. Do you think there's more that needs to be done?
Yes.
You see it going even higher,
I
bigger?
think it needs to be recognized. It needs to be spoken about. People needs to be educated about it. Everywhere we go, people are fascinated about hearing about pan. It has evolved. We have what's called a G pan now, which is the notes are very wide and has more depth. It also have an electric steel pan that you could play. Yeah, you could program it and play it like a piano. And what we've been having in Trinidad is national jazz festivals, where we have different pans from all over the world come and actually play jazz and some of the classical music.
Okay.
And the other thing that we're trying to do, and we mentioned it the last time we spoke, is actually having it in the schools. It's part of the curriculum in Trinidad, and it's becoming part of the curriculum in some of the schools here in the United States.
That would be
and
great.
we have exchange programs from all over the world that goes to Trinidad around carnival time to learn to play pan.
But where people can start is by coming to the event.
Come into the
on
event,
Sunday.
and yes, and you could sign up to play with Branches,
right.
Metro, or Tempo. And as you saw, I'm an excellent teacher. I just gave you the scratcher,
just got a lesson, I'm joining.
You're done. You're done. You could move on to another instrument now.
Now, people, you can find your ticket information at temporhythms.com, and their flyer is also on our website, YCNC. The event, again, is September 22nd. Thank you so much for being
Thank you
here.
for having me.
I want to thank our lovely crew here at BNN Studios. Don't forget to catch the repeat of our shows Saturday and Sunday mornings at 10:30. We're always on the web and on Facebook. Give us that thumbs up, YCNC/Facebook.com. Don't forget to go out and vote. I won't see you guys again until next Friday, but this coming Thursday is the mayoral primary, so get out there and vote. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Delinda Eiffel. Take care.